Yo, what's up Guardians? It's Novers and welcome back to another Destiny 2 build video. Now I finally got Icebreaker after multiple weeks of attempts as I was on vacation during contests of the dungeon unfortunately, so I decided to test out Icebreaker using different combos and I stumbled upon this combo on Stasis Warlock, which honestly, pun fully intended, gave me chills. Now the combo I am talking about is Icebreaker with the Rime-coat Rainment Revenant Warlock exotic chest piece. Now the craziest part about this build is I honestly did not think the Osmiomancy build with Prismatic Warlock could get even better, but hey, I guess here we are. This build is just better. And it's absolutely absurd. Okay, enough yapping. Let's start off with the subclass details. Now, the super we're going to be using is Nova Bomb. However, it's honestly personal preference and it's very situational. Depends on what type of encounter or activity you're in. But I just like to use Nova Bomb because with one of the fragments, you will be able to get a Void Overshield. Now, we're going to be using a Healing Rift as you can place it inside of a Rime-coat Rainment turret circle. And also, we'll be using Arcane Needle to have 3 melee charges. We're going to be using Healing Grenades as well, as it does have the shortest cooldown on Prismatic Warlock. The first aspect of the build is Devour, as whenever you get an ability kill, which Stasis Shatter kills do count as an ability kill, it will give you a Devour timer, which once you get kills during that timer, you will get instant full health as well as tons of grenade energy per kill. This will allow you to chain your Bleakwatcher turrets constantly. Now, speaking of Bleakwatcher, our second aspect is Bleakwatcher. This allows you to convert your grenade into a stasis turret that fires sling projectiles at nearby targets. Now, this is used by holding down the grenade button. This is not available to be used during Transcendence though, so keep that in mind. Our first fragment is one that I personally use on every single Prismatic build, Facet of Protection. This allows you to get damage resistance when surrounded by combatants. This is also increased whenever you are Transcendent. Now, the second fragment is Facet of Courage. It reads, your Arc, Solar, and Void abilities deal increased damage to targets afflicted with darkness debuffs. Now, honestly, the main purpose for me personally using this fragment is for my Nova Bomb. I can throw a turret at, per se, a boss or very chunky enemy. They will be debuffed by stasis, and then I can Nova Bomb them. Now, the next fragment is Facet of Balance, which will allow you to get melee energy on rapidly defeating targets with light damage, as well as grenade energy by defeating targets rapidly with darkness damage. This is obviously really effective, as you're going to want to be generating as many grenade turrets as possible, and this also gives you an outlet to generate your melee energy as well, which can help you proc Devour. Now, the fourth fragment, which is the most important one, is Facet of Ruin. Increases the size and damage of the burst when you shatter a stasis crystal or frozen target, and increases the area of effect of solar ignitions. Now, as you know, with Icebreaker, you create solar ignitions on precision kills. And not only will you be creating ignitions, but you will also be shattering a ton of enemies with Icebreaker. So you'll be proccing ignitions and shatters, meaning you'll be taking advantage of the entire fragment of Facet of Ruin, making this an essential pick for this build. Now, for the final fragment in this build, Facet of Purpose, this is one I teased earlier when I was talking about the super. This allows me to get a Void Overshield when I pick up a Orb of Power because I have a Void super equipped. Now for a Solar super, you will get Restoration, Arc super Amplified, Stasis super, Frost Armor, and Strand super, Woven Mail. This is fantastic for high enemy density areas because you're going to be generating a lot of orbs with this build and with any build in general, so being able to get a Void Overshield or different buffs on the spot is very clutch. Now there's 3 artifact mods this episode that allow you to make this build substantially stronger. The first one is Hail the Storm. Shattering stasis crystals releases shards of ice that damage and slow targets. Now there's also a boost that is optional that says shattering frozen targets and stasis crystals deals increased damage. So if you have the tonic for that, then go ahead and throw it on while you use this build. The second perk is called Brain Freeze. Frozen combatants become surrounded by chilling fog, which slows combatants that aren't already. The last one is Conductive Cosmic Crystal. Your arc abilities, void abilities, and weapons with the Dark Ether Reaper origin trait do bonus damage to targets that are affected by a stasis debuff. Now, the boost allows you to further increase the bonus damage. The reason why this is so strong is it also pairs with the subclass to make Nova Bomb do even more damage against slowed or frozen targets. So if you throw a turret near a boss, you can throw your Nova Bomb and do a substantial amount of damage. Now, if you wanted to make a swap loadout with Star Eater class item for Warlock per se, you could throw that on during a boss fight instead of the Rime-coat Rainment and use your subclass and the artifact perk to then do a ridiculous amount of damage to the boss. Now we'll be going over some armor mods. The first one's Heavy Ammo Finder, Heavy Ammo Scout, and Solar Siphon. These are pretty self-explanatory. Allows you to give you and your allies heavy ammo more often, and also generate orbs of power on rapid solar weapon final blows, which you'll be doing pretty much constantly with Icebreaker. Now for the arms, I like to run Grenade, Kickstart, Impact Induction, and Fastball. However, you can interchange those if you would like, but those are the ones that I prefer using. Impact Induction will be able to be procced a lot paired with Facetive Balance, as you'll be getting a lot of melee energy, allowing you to generate even more grenade energy on your melee hits. Now, grenade energy from Grenade Kickstart only procs when you have armor charge, so keep that in mind. On your chest piece, run 3 damage resistance mods of your choice. I like to just run Arc, Solar, and Void. Depending on the activity, I'll change to Concussive Dampener, Sniper Resistance, etc. But yeah, that's really it for the chest piece. Now, for the boots, I like to run Innervation for grenade energy on orb pickup, as well as Recuperation for instant health replenish on orb pickup as well as a Solar Weapon Surge, as the primary weapon we'll be using in this build is Icebreaker, and we'll have almost, if not fully, infinite ammo, so we'll be able to do more damage with it. In this case, 10% more damage with 1 Solar Weapon Surge mod. Now, the main reason I'm using that mod over something else is because we will not be using Radiant with this build. However, you are totally welcome to swap out one of the fragments with Radiant if you would like. I just don't use it, and I prefer Surges as they're a lot easier to keep up than Radiant is. Lastly, on the class item, we'll be running Bomber, Powerful Attraction, and Reaper. Reaper obviously used for an extra orb of power during gunfights, Powerful Attraction allowing you to consume the orbs of power around you when you use your class ability, and Bomber allowing you to get grenade energy whenever you use your class ability. So using all these 3 mods together will allow you to chain orbs of power and chain ability energy, as well as keep yourself alive in risky situations. Now that's pretty much the whole gist of the build, but before we go, I do want to mention an extra part of the build that can make it even better, which is running a heavy machine gun in the heavy slot if you are not in a boss encounter. Now the reason I do this, champion activities specifically, is so that I can keep a constant slow and freeze chain on the champions, preventing them from putting up their shield or becoming unstunned. Now, using a fast-firing machine gun, I use Commemoration. However, you can use Hammerhead or any other machine gun you like. You'll be able to stand inside the Rime-coat turret, use the stasis turret that is inside of it to give yourself stasis rounds that will freeze the target over and over again. And for the primary weapon, I don't really use anything specifically. I was using a hand cannon in the gameplay, but it is completely up to you whatever you use here, because it really doesn't change the outcome of the build at all. Now, before I let you go, consider subscribing to the channel, dropping a like, and commenting any other future content you'd like to see from me. I know I haven't uploaded much at all this year, and I really apologize for that. I've just been really busy with a lot of other things, but I would love to start uploading again, but I do need your support so that we can continue to create content like this. And I want to keep pushing the content out and making it better and better for you all over time so that you can enjoy it and find it helpful. Now, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and peace.